Welcome back. We have Smita, an advocate from Dhingra and Associates. She is going to tell us a little more about what Sonia shared with us, her personal experience. So, we will resume the discussion and we will touch upon the related party transactions, where the Pasathi committee report, it says that the related party transactions should be handled as part of the post-clearance audit, and directed evaluation should be strengthened to become a center of excellence. There, sir, you would like to add some point here, so the related party transactions where the DOB is being, the recommendation is to strengthen it.
Yeah. Look, the related party transaction, I think this was mentioned by Mr. Dhingra and Mr. Sharma also. It's a sore point for customs administration. There's so much of pendencies in the special valuation branch in a custom house which deals with the related party transaction. Keeping that in mind, it was felt that this section should be taken out of custom house and put in the Directorate of Valuation, so that the people working there, they have the domain expertise, they're there for some time, and then the whole process will be streamlined. And that decision was taken already in 2011. And I'm told technically the transfer has taken place, but actually it is not, work has not yet started. So it again brings me back to my opening comments that most of the recommendations here are already work in progress. Now coming back to the suggestion of that, this one, post-clearance, there's
post-audit.
There's post-audit. No, actually it is a post-audit, because what happens in special valuation branch? The bill of entry comes, related party, it's sent to the special valuation branch, he puts a certain 1% or 1.1% or some percentage that this much you deposit, and then he starts. This is he's doing post-audit. Then he asks for the document, and I think the instructions are there that this should be finalized within 6 months. But very rarely I believe it is done.
Does it happen?
This will happen. This will going to the valuation directorate. There will be focused attention to this thing.
I agree with Mr. Majumder. I think this is already with the Directorate of Valuation, but supervision is not there. There is no implementation. There is no, their system there that you can look into which case came first and it should be decided first. Timelines are not being met. Arbitrarily, appraiser pick up cases and they put up to the DCR, SUV, and the cases are decided.
Okay. So we will touch another interesting point here, the development of advanced passenger information system, incorporating modern identity management and entity analytics solutions. So, this is something, sir, I believe this used to be there at most of the airports.
It's already there.
Yeah, yes, he's rightly said. It is there. 2014, it has been implemented. And this work it took quite a long time, because it requires integration with the immigration people. So it was total integration. That was taking time. And if I remember correctly, I think for about the last 15 years, they have been working on it. But then finally, it has been implemented in 2014 in all the major airports. And they have integrated. But now the question is whether they will have further input from, because now another role which has come on customs, I don't find much about it and this. You see, the customs as the frontier man, the national security, trans-border national security is very important. So it is not only revenue collection, goods are covered by the license or not this, but the trans-borders national security angle, that has also to be tackled. So there has to have not only the immigration, they have to have the other intelligence agencies at the airport. And airport is the most sensitive place. There is the entry point where the passenger is coming. So right, I think for that, it has to be developed further, these APIs.
So this is only with the immigrations or also with the airlines and other agencies?
The airlines, of course, it will be there, because they have to have the passengers manifest, advance intimation, and so this has to be there with this. But what they're talking about in the same thing, I think some entity analysis.
Yes, analytics solutions. Entity
what is
analytics.
That? And then one identity management. That's what I'm saying. This is in the context of the national security concerns. So the identity management means one has passport, one has, if he's an Indian, he will be having Aadhaar card, you'll be having driving license. So all these identity things, it has gone through a process of identifying the person. So combining it into a thing and how you manage it, that is identity management. So it's a good thing. It's there. So this has to be integrated with APIs.
Right,
now, entity analytics again is not a new thing for the customs. Particularly the enforcement agencies like DRI, they are doing entity analysis. The importers, exporters will not know. It is from the basis of the documents and the past clearances, they find out which are the suspect people or suspect consignment, and accordingly they interdict that the thing is done. So these are that.
In fact, large number of European countries as well as America has got the advanced passenger manifest and passenger profiling as well, where they look at the passengers, and on that basis the passengers are detained or they are thoroughly searched or they are investigated. So this is done in real time basis. The only thing that India has implemented this piece in a certain manner, but this should be complete coordination of all the intelligence agencies.
That's right.
Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Right. Right, so we will move back to one very important, significant recommendation with respect to trade facilitation, where the Commission has recommended that the CBEC should immediately commence work on building a new generation system to replace the present system, the information technology, where Mr. Sharma would like to add.
You see, the most important thing, the latest technology, if we are dealing in the international market, and if we have no, access to reduce the time, reduce the cost, we have to upgrade our technology. Our logistics system, if we are talking trade facilitation agreement, we want that the goods should be clear from one border within 3 hours, but that is not possible. We are talking about single window clearance, that is not happening. We are talking about the EDI, it is not happening because all allied agencies are not online. So we really require infrastructure in today's requirement. If we are really to meet the international market, we have to compete with the international market. And until we are at par with them, we will not be able to achieve our target.
Right. But sir, they're replacing it, the existing system by a new generation system, because then it will have a gestation period.
We are talking the rules which are like in 1990, there are so many things which have been said in 1916, 1960. If we don't review, those things, today's time, we have to change according to the environment in today's life. We cannot go to the old, we have to review everything.
No, see, they review it, and there's a migration. Right. Last, if I recall correctly, the last migration had taken place 2011, when the
new version
was
right,
taken.
Sir. Correct.
So that is one, and if you want to replace it completely, then that it can't be suddenly. Then this present one will remain, and simultaneously you start working on a new system.
Gradually you can.
So that's the thing. Otherwise, when the migration takes place, without interrupting the work, it takes place. That is how we do it. To start with, there may be some teething problems, but it's taken care of. So let's see what is there.
Right, sir. So then we will move to, sir, another important point where, talking about the infusion of technology, where he is saying that, lots of container scanners, X-ray scanners, they needs to be expedited, where, again for the trade facilitation.
Again, it is a time that infrastructure is needed. And until we upgrade our infrastructure, what is? We have to invest money. The government should invest money so that we should upgrade our technology. We should upgrade our infrastructure. Road, airport, ports, unless we have to improve those services, we will not be able to do it. So in technology, in logistics, it is a chain supply. And we have to change everything now.
Okay.
That is very important.
But we do have, you're saying that there is a need for some kind of budget allocation in the budget itself so far as technology is concerned. Otherwise, this kind of 1,000 crore or 1,200 crore will not do, because these X-rays will cost a huge amount of money, and then there is a lengthy process because there has to be a global bidding. It cannot be given to anybody. So the whole process takes a few years.
These things are going on. These are ongoing process. As I said, work in progress is going on now. Like first we had the container in Navasheva first, and the container detection system that one, and then with that now we have the risk. There is also mentioned somewhere. I just reading that the risk RMS in container scanning also, that which container will be taken up. So that has also been implemented.
Once we are talking make in India manufacturing, like the raw material is coming from other countries, and if it is stuck up due to some infrastructure or some other problems, due to technical problems, due to EDI problems, single thread problem, processing problem, we have to be, make sure that international market, and we have to be competitive. And if our infrastructure is not at par, we will be left behind.
But that brings it to also this track and trace system. That should be in track and trace system for the containers, where you can have barcode or
there's a word called Internet of Things.
Yes.
Internet of Things. Yes, so there is a recommendation.
I'm reading it. It's very interesting.
Yes, sir.
Internet of Things. If I can explain in a very simple way. Suppose you have in your fridge one electronic device, and which will tell you must maintain milk stock of 1 liter. So when you have consumed something, the moment it is consumed, this will send a message that you have to buy milk. So it's the internet of things. Coming to the customs, you have that gadget in your container. So container you track. So if anything untoward happens, they will, in a centralized way, you know there's something wrong with this container. And this is very important. This is, for the logistics, is very important. Because the entire thing, the supply chain, which I was saying, that the entire supply chain, he has to monitor the progress of the container. And from customs enforcement angle, I can say from my personal experience, say in transit goods, Nepal transit goods, from Kolkata it goes to, say, Raxol. And if you have this device in the container, and quite a few cases of container diversion, so if at some point of the road it diverts to, say, Dhanbad, so automatically that thing will report. So these are the things which are being talked about. So these are being talked about. So let us say, yes, all these modern gadgets.
It is advancement in transport. In all supply chain, we have to advance ourselves.
Absolutely. So we will go straight to the international customs side, where the Directorate of Origin is being recommended that to handle RTA issues, etc. Maybe Mr. Dhingra would like to touch upon this point.
Here, recommendation has been made to create a Directorate of Origin, but from where this Directorate of Origin is coming, because we already have rules of origin for each specific free trade agreements, and that covers the specific notifications and the specific countries and specific areas. So why we need to have these rules of origin? Provide for local value addition or content of 25 to 40% depending on the various in the countries. So unless this Directorate of Origin forms part of the Commerce Ministry, where it can actually look at the commercial data and make a recommendation, it makes sense. But with customs having a Directorate of Origin, it doesn't make any sense. On the better part, if this part, this can be created as a division within the CBEC, which can look into the issues and take complaints and look at the, the recommendation from the industry bodies or from the companies, that will help. Or it can be parked, or this task can be given to Directorate of Evaluation. That's my view, but Mr. Majumder may like to add something.
Yeah, you see, the origin issues have become very important in international customs organizations also. I've been going to WCO since 1995 till 2011 when I retired, and continuously more or less. And I've seen how the importance changes from over a period of time. So in the later part of my career, I found that origin issues became very important. Why? The reason is that there is a lot of intra-countries trade agreement. And then because of the trade agreement, you give the concessional rate of duty or other concessions. So this is very important, and it is always handled by the customs, and it should be in the customs. But I fully agree with Mr. Dhingra. There is no need for a directorate separately for it, because ultimately, as he rightly says, certain things are to be done by the Commerce Ministry as well. Certain other agencies are there. And you have to take the help of the External Affairs Ministry also to get that data from the chambers who are issuing that certificate of origin. This is a very thing that just when somebody comes and they don't see the goods, they just certify that it is this thing. So there's no system of auditing those also. There was a proposal in the WCO when I was there. I remember that we said that there should be an auditing of those things where the certificate is given. So here, so you need a coordination. So for this coordination purpose, you don't need a directorate. You make it a part of the Directorate of Valuation.
We are entering like regional trading agreements. We are free trading agreement. The FTA is coming up, I think, in Chairman countries. We are going for all these things. That is why origin is very important. Very important. Like in Thailand, gold was coming. It was not
a lot of those. So no value addition, but certificate being issued.
Trade, I think it is a very important thing.
So that on international custom front, sir, we have one more very vital recommendation where they are suggesting that the Directorate of International Cooperation should be set up. So what is your take on this, sir?
Well,
do we need a separate directorate for this?
I tell you like this. International customs, what does it mean? There are two ways. One is that dealing with the WCO, whatever WCO matters. Other is dealing with the different countries that your FTAs, then your other, through DRI you have the mutual customs, customs mutual assistance agreements, MCA, CMA, and all those things. Now, if you have these are of prime importance, and all these final decision is taken only at the level of member customs and chairman. So no decision can be taken in because these are international matters. So if you create a directorate, that means you are creating another layer. Ultimately, that directorate will place something to the ministry, and then again it will be examined in the ministry. Instead of that, I would like to say that you strengthen those units which are existing in the ministry, make it more streamlined, but I think the directorate is not the answer for that. You strengthen, because as I said, unless you don't create another layer, that they will be doing the things and then again it will go to the ministry.
This is a colonial approach that every time we need something, let's set up another directorate. So let's have...
You strengthen the existing ones.
So they have also touched upon a very vital modern system, talking about the globally networked customs, GNC, sir, in the detailed report.
GNC, if I have to talk about GNC, I have to go to the roots. And perhaps I think there was certain thing about this on the safe framework and trade facilitation.
Yes, sir, we will touch that, sir.
Yes. That I'll talk about it, because I must talk about something about ACP also and other things which was talking about. Then only gradually it will take.
Maybe, sir, let's touch upon those 2-3 points so that we could wrap up this. Okay. The safe. So they have talked about, of course, the ACP status. Where they are saying that on account of so-called notices, etc., it should not be denied. The point made by Mr. Dhingra. And then, of course, they are also talking about AEO program. You know, they are saying that there needs for much greater communication of the benefits of the program among stakeholders. So apparently, AEO program is not very popular in India.
Trade facilitation should be there along with, while the core competency is tax collection. There is no doubt about it. But there should be trade facilitation. Keeping that in mind, different steps have been taken. SAP was one of them. But I will go a step further now. What is being thought about and which we have now started. This is called AEOs. AEO is Authorized Economic Operators. And Authorized Economic Operators are not restricted to only importers and their agents. It starts importers as well, and then entire logistics chain. All the people who are handling it, anybody can be even a warehouse keeper can be an authorized economic operator, a transporter can be an authorized economic operator. The idea of authorized economic operator is that, say, I am an Indian Customs Authority, you are the US Customs Authority. So I will recognize certain people as that they are reliable. Right. I mean, taking the philosophy of that ACP, that they are accredited, so are reliable, so I make them authorized economic operator. And then similarly, in the US Customs also, they have them certain people like that. Now, when my AEO imports some things from your US AEOs, which are there, then you will get a priority treatment here. Now, what will happen? For that to happen, we must have an agreement with ourselves. And let me inform you, because I just came to know that Hong Kong, read it somewhere, India has already signed
with Hong Kong, yes.
On Hong Kong, they have signed an MRA, the first MRA.
MRA, yes.
And right now, in the website I saw, I think there are some 25 AEOs. The next step is that what is envisaged in the customs in the 21st century. WCO had brought out a paper. It's known as C21. C21 means customs in the 21st century. So one of the things there is of this globally networked customs. Okay. Now, for going to the globally networked customs, what will happen? Now, when a transaction takes place, importer here, exporter here, supplier there, the importer talks to the exporter, importer talks to the customs authority here, supplier or exporter talks to the customs authority here, but I do not talk to you.
Right.
Customs in India and customs in USA are not talking. They are not exchanging any information. That is a gap. So that gap has to be bridged. Now, this can be done bilaterally. Efforts were made, and we tried, I remember, with Belgian customs, with the pilot to run a pilot project. Somehow it didn't materialize. We tried with South Africa. I mean, in the sense that they were keen, but something happened. A lot of operations are there. And then the WCO's concept is that you have globally networked. That means once this has happened, I recognize you, then ultimately what will happen is that your supplier files a shipping bill, it will become my bill of entry. And then because all AEOs are there, So either assessment will be done before the goods reach, and it will just go. But of course, it will go to the risk management board. But obviously, there will be no interdiction. There will be no target phase.
No red flags. No red flags.
No red flags. Yes.
Yeah.
We have broadly touched upon most of the points, but the one point which is so vital and which is the central theme of the entire recommendation, which I would like Smita to add to this point, the customer for the entire all the 4 reports. Is the focus for the everything, So it has to be customer centric.
Yeah.
Every step. So maybe you would like to add on this.
Like everybody has talked about that the policies have always been there, although we welcome the recommendations, but it's the implementation of those policies which is more important. The manpower which is actually implementing it, the custom officers, they are not, their motto is to just collect duty, but then it should be trade facilitation which is there, but I might add this, it is there only for namesake.
Right.
We as consultants, we have MNC clients, they come to us and they just fail to understand why there is delay, what is the problem, because there is no two-way dialogue here. We go there for simple filing of letters, we are asked to either modify our letters or they just simply don't take it. So, just following up with them delays the entire process. So, the customer here is not happy.
I'll agree with Smita that policies are good and always have been good. The only thing which is lacking is the implementation and monitoring and accountability.
I just want to put one point here. What Smita said is absolutely correct. I think we missed some line was there, sir, because when I was going through this, there's a mention about the time release and single window and all.
Right,
that is very important. Now, time release study is the dwell time, that how much time it takes. Now, here I suddenly recalled, because I was a member of the Trade Facilitation Subcommittee of the CBEC when I was Chief Commissioner in Mumbai Customs. That time, there's that around mid-90s or late 90s, one study was made by Jayant Rai, and he was chairing a committee to look into the dwell time. When the goods land means unloaded, ship comes, from that point, the goods are out of the customs control. So, it may be a surprise to you, that they found out that time taken by customs is 14%. 14%. And at that time, 90s, it was not so, there's... a
lot of measures were not there.
Not of there's computers. Yeah. What is happening, there's a lot of time in the...
Segregation.
In segregation, in the docks, in the port area, and then the port health. If it's a food item, you use a port health assessment, then you use a chemical or medicine, then you have those old checks are there, the plants quarantine and all those things. Right. Now, so what is needed is a single window. And this is a problem in all countries internationally. That's why recall the trade facilitation agreement, which India finally signed. And on that, one of the conditions is that you must have a single window. The single window means that not only the customs, there will be the port health, the port authorities, all who are involved in all the stakeholders from the government side, who are involved in the movement import of the goods till the time goods are cleared, must be facilitate the trade. So all those things will have to be done. Let me tell you, India made a commitment when they signed the trade facilitation agreement. India is aware, Indian government was aware that it's not so easy to have it tomorrow or day after tomorrow. And that's why they've taken time of 5 years.
And some of the key takeaways I find, so this of course, as Mr. Dhingra rightly said, and in Mr. Sharma also, first, the attitudinal change is badly required among our custom officers when they deal with professionals, when they deal with their own focus audience, which are not only contributing to the exchequer's health in terms of duty, but also in terms of employment of the custom officers themselves. Ultimately, they are performing public duty. So, they must do it the way they are designed and their post is designed to perform. Secondly, apart from the attitudinal, the key problem area which appears from this discussion is not the lack of policies or various measures. CBEC has been very fond of issuing instructions in the past and they continue to do it, but they stop after issuing instructions. What about the implementation, the most vital part of it? So, on implementation stage, often there is some lackadaisical approach on behalf of CBEC. It fails to, rather they should audit whether their instructions are actually being implemented or not. So, implementation part also involves another dimension which is equally important in the monitoring, and for monitoring we need some tangible statistics. There has to be a timeline for everything, which Mr. Sharma is talking about. The dwell time, for instance, customs alone cannot be blamed for everything, the 14% as Sir rightly pointed out, but this 40% itself is a significant chunk. There are other agencies, of course. Dr. Parsathi Commission was not given the mandate to talk about Agriculture Ministry, etc., because they are talking about the Customs Administration and the Tax Administration, but other institutions, other ministries, other arms of the Government of India, they need to join hands to facilitate, to make it a very pleasant experience for the customer, which has been the focus, rightly said. And then apart from that, we have another point which is equally important, and maybe Mr. Parsathi Commission should have avoided touching upon areas like transfer policy. They have made one very significant recommendation that the board needs to immediately review and revise their transfer policy. These are the areas which are related to, this should be left to the discussion of the board. The commission should have focused on broad framework, maybe the key milestones, maybe the time lags, where some meaningful contribution could have been made. Let's hope the Honorable Finance Minister takes some of the key points seriously and goes ahead with those reform processes on priority basis. Thank you for watching us.